Hey, this is Anthony with RevZilla. Watch, decide, and ride. Welcome to our detailed breakdown of the new Alpinestars Belize Drystar Boot, available at RevZilla.com. From Berlin down to Belize. No, for those of you that grew up watching Carmen Sandiego, it's not named after the song. This is the Belize from Alpinestars, new for fall of 16. You can tell I'm in a good mood because I dig it. Alpinestars, you did a good job. It's oiled leather, and there is a black version. And I'll show you on my left, we have the left side of the boot, but then we have the Corazal. And this is the new oiled version of the Corazal, which also comes in a non-oiled version. This is the full height version of this boot. So you have the Corazal around the $300 mark. 3 to 4 season adventure with Drystar, waterproof, breathable. Then you get into the Belize that I have in front of me for this video. Mid-height steals a lot of that protective DNA, is heavy, is meant to be standing on foot pegs, but if you don't want the extra few inches to go all the way up, and you want to save a few bucks, this bad boy is going to come in around the $250 to $260 mark, you can go with the Belize. And again, we think about the family food chain here. Top end of the food chain, something like Toucan, which is super technical, aggressive, and it's going to be Gore-Tex. This guy is going to be Drystar, which is waterproof, breathable. Again, not as breathable as Gore-Tex, but again, coming in the mid twos, which is great. If you don't want all the technical bells and whistles, if you want something that's a little bit more on the touring side, and you want to go Gore-Tex, look at something like the Web GTX, which again doesn't have the aggressive factor. Is more of a touring boot. Where for me, this is a hardcore adventure touring, or really an off-road centric boot, just cut down to mid-height. Now, if we think about some of the other things that are going on here, and we think about fitment, the fit on this guy is not going to surprise us. Alpinestars has been doing US-oriented lasts forever. Italian company, Italian craftsmanship, but they're really not going to give you any surprises. We didn't find that it was overly wide, overly narrow. Again, right down the middle of the fairway, use the size chart, you won't have any issues there. And again, remember, we're going to ship for free over 39 bucks, and you can always leave your comments or questions, your feedback, after you subscribe to us at RevZilla on our YouTube channel. Now, if we look at it, some of the other things going on here. It's the oiled version. It's 10 bucks more. It's around the $260 mark. That's that full-grained oiled leather. It's that classic style. And what I like about it is there's some other oiled leather boots in the market between the Belize and the Corazal, right? From other manufacturers, they don't have some of the hardcore gnarly features, like the multi-link suspension system, which helps in hyperextension and it limits torsional rotation. It also bakes in here as this is a CE-rated boot. So remember, you're getting that 3 to 4 season functionality, but you're getting the protection in the toe, in the heel, as well as the ankle. And you can see it on the lateral side here. It's going to have this big tongue and groove panel, which is external. And you also have it on the medial side, on the inside, which is going to be baked in, again, around your malleolus. But notice how this is done. Textured panels and then suede panel up here towards the top, heat shield as well as grip panel. If you're standing on your bike, you are going to get another tactile point of response. Now, if we rotate it around, you're going to see dual recessed stitching here along the shifter panel. It is full grain leather, but you do have some microfiber in your elasticated bellows on the front as well as on the rear. You're going to notice there is no, I don't believe I've seen it. I'm searching for it. There's no reflective piping on this boot at all. That might be a nitpick where you're not having that. But again, for this rider coming at this price point, they streamlined it and they just went with a competitive set on what they were going to compete on, which is hardcore functionality and comfort for a more off-road orientation. You're using 2 composite self-aligning buckles, whereas the Corazal to my left is going to have a fuller height and it's going to have a few more. But the nice part about these buckles, they're not aluminum. That's okay. You're going to see aluminum ones show up on something like the Toucan, but they're going to be durable. They're TPU. When I say self-aligning, it means you just thread the needle like that. Any dirt that's in there immediately gets pushed out, and they just lock right down. So it solves 2 problems at once. Very easy with a gloved hand to find, and you don't have to worry about them getting gunkified. You can also see the way that they're situated here, and here even in the shifter or the shift panel or the shin pad TPR or TPU rather. That was a mouthful. It's going to be recessed, so you're not going to shear it if you go down. Again, everything's integrated, which is really nice. Now, before I open this bad boy up, let's talk about the toe, the heel, and let's talk about the sole. If we look at it, you have a multi-density sole. If we look at the bottom, front and back for walking and for traction if you're off your bike in the mud. The middle is going to be replaceable, and that is going to be a super dense area that's reinforced, and that's going to be when you're standing on the pegs. Again, that is just built to interface with your peg, whereas the front and back toe and heel are going to interface with the ground. As you work our way up, notice they give you a little bit of a heel counter to make sure everything stays together and where it's supposed to be. Along the midsole, this gray area is shock absorbing, and on the inside of the boot, there's a secondary shock absorbing layer. So you have different sandwich layers here that are all built for great performance, great protection, great comfort if you're standing on the pegs with the support you want, but shock absorption as well. Now, if I begin to open this guy up one more time, you're going to see, and this is where one of my really only gripes with this boot shows up. We open it up here. Remember, Off-road, easy entry and exit, wicking along the inside, typical comfort seat features that you see from Alpinestars. And again, they're going to be right down the middle of the fairway for what we see at this price range. If anything, you're getting more for the dollar. And then if we look at it on the interior guts here, that's my gator. That's where my Drystar stops. So my waterproofing only goes to there. Now I understand that they want to give you this big flap to get in and out on the top, but I think they maybe sacrificed a little bit. So again, I don't know if you add another inch to the boot, maybe you get too close to the Corazal, but that's as high as your waterproofing goes. Again, stark contrast for the Corazal to my left here with the Belize, but if we look at the two, that's going to be one of the distinguishing factors. I really hate to nitpick it like that, but I am just going to say that, and you have to make the decision for how high of waterproofing you really want to go. For me, that extra inch doesn't matter that much. If they went another 2 inches up, now you're in that territory, and the difference between these boots is really only about 40 or 50 bucks, so that's going to be really your choice how you want to play it. But if they went all the way up, it'd be harder to get in and out of that boot. So again, no real gripes from me. That's a bit of a nitpick. Ultimately, I like the direction. There's a black version and the oiled leather on both the tall version of the Corazal as well as the Belize here that I'm showing you today really, really works well. Again, it's that classic look. The next step in your journey is to click the info button. Visit the product page at RevZilla.com for the Belize. Read other rider reviews. You shouldn't just take my word for it. You need to see what the market is saying as they're beating the crap out of it. As always, we'll ship for free over 39 bucks. If you want to talk to a gear geek, see us at RevZilla.com or 777-792-9455. Thanks for watching our detailed breakdown. Remember, subscribe to us at RevZilla on our YouTube channel. Stay up to date with our comments or our opinion on the latest and greatest in the moto universe. I'm Anthony. We'll see you next time.